You can spend thousands of dollars putting together a real estate team meeting. Bring everyone into the room, block off the calendar, provide lunch, create the agenda, and still have absolutely nothing change when everyone goes back to work the next day. That's the part of team meetings we don't talk about enough. We measure attendance. We ask whether people enjoyed the speaker. We look at the energy in the room. But the better question is, did anyone actually do something differently afterward? Because that's where the real ROI of a guest speaker begins. And because I work with agents, team leaders, and brokerages every week, I see what happens after the meeting ends. The applause stops. Everyone goes back to work. That's when you find out whether the meeting actually mattered. So instead of measuring what happened in the room, start measuring what happened because of the room. Let's say your team has been struggling with follow-up. You've talked about it in meetings. You've shown agents the numbers. You've reminded them about the leads sitting in the CRM. Then an outside expert comes in and explains the same problem differently. Maybe they introduce a simple system. Maybe they show agents how to use AI to make follow-up easier. One agent goes back into the CRM, reconnects with an old lead, books an appointment, and eventually closes a transaction. What was that meeting worth now? That's why the first thing I would measure is behavior change. Don't just ask, did you like the speaker? Ask, what are you doing differently because of what you learned? The second thing I would measure is implementation speed. This is especially important with AI. Agents are overwhelmed with tools right now. ChatGPT, automation, AI assistants, lead scoring, CRM integrations. Sometimes they don't need another list of tools. They need someone to say, here are the 2 or 3 things that actually matter for your business, and here's how to start. That clarity can shorten the learning curve dramatically. Let's say your team learns one AI workflow that saves each agent 3 hours a week. Across 10 agents, that's 30 hours every week your organization gets back. That's real ROI. Then there's something leaders often underestimate: reinforcement. I can't tell you how many times I've finished speaking and had a team leader come up to me afterward and say, Emily, I have literally been telling them that for a year. And we laugh because it's true. Sometimes your team needs to hear the same message from a different voice. A different story, a different example, a different framework. That's not replacing your leadership. It's reinforcing it. But here's where the real return is either created or lost. What happens after the speaker leaves? Before bringing someone in, identify the problem you want the session to help solve. Maybe it's follow-up. Maybe it's AI adoption. Maybe it's systems. Maybe it's team culture. Then decide what you want your agents to do differently afterward. At the end of the session, have everyone choose one action. Not 10, one. Then follow up a week later. Did you implement it? 30 days later, what changed? Now, you've created an implementation cycle instead of hosting another meeting everyone forgets. So the next time you're deciding whether a guest speaker is worth the investment, don't only look at the speaking fee. Look at the cost of the problem you're trying to solve. What is inconsistent follow-up costing you? What is poor technology adoption costing you? What is a disengaged team costing you? And what would it be worth to solve that problem faster? Because the real ROI of a great speaker isn't how excited your team feels when they leave the room. It's what they start doing differently when they walk back into the office. If you want more ideas around leadership, AI, systems, and creating training that actually changes behavior, visit www.coachemilyterrell.com. And connect with me on Instagram at @CoachEmilyTerrell, where I share practical strategies for agents and leaders who want to build stronger, more efficient businesses.